you want success. But your body worships comfort. Comfort is not rest. It is slow surrender. It trains you to obey weakness without realizing it. It makes laziness feel deserved. It makes delay feel harmless. The world doesn't punish laziness immediately. That's why most men fall for it. First, it rewards you: ease, dopamine, distraction, soft days that make you feel safe. Then it collects, quietly, ruthlessly, lost time, lost respect, being overtaken by men who execute while you hesitate. Machiavelli understood this well. Power is never taken by the hopeful, never by the inspired, never by the man waiting to feel ready. Power submits only to the man who moves while tired, while bored, while emotionally cold. If you are lazy with ambition, this message is not entertainment, it is exposure. It will either awaken a dangerous level of self-control or force you to face the truth. You do not need motivation. You need command over yourself. There is no third outcome. Comment, "I refuse comfort," and stay focused. You say you want success, but your daily behavior says something else. Ambition in your mind, laziness in your actions. That contradiction is why nothing moves. Understand this clearly. Laziness is not rest. It is rebellion against your own future. The lazy man doesn't fail loudly. He fades quietly. He delays. He negotiates with discipline. He waits for the perfect mood. Machiavelli never feared chaos. He feared softness, because soft men are predictable, and predictable men are easy to control. The world does not reward intention. It rewards execution without emotion. Every time you choose comfort, you are voting against your future power. Every time you delay action, someone with less talent replaces you. Here is the truth most men avoid. You do not lack motivation, you lack authority over yourself. Discipline is not passion, it is cold obedience to long-term dominance. Strong men do not feel like working, they work anyway. They do not seek inspiration, they enforce structure. If you are lazy, the system will use you. If you stay comfortable, sharper men will own your outcomes. This channel does not comfort you, it sharpens you, or it exposes you. Those who cannot handle this leave early. Those who stay begin to harden. Comment, "Discipline over comfort," if you are still standing. Laziness is not an accident. It is a system designed to keep you small. It whispers patience. It sells comfort as wisdom. It disguises fear as rest. This is how control works, not with chains, with habits. Machiavelli understood power at its core. The easiest man to rule is the man who delays himself. Laziness keeps you undecided. Indecision makes you dependent. Dependence makes you useful to others. You call it taking a break. But you never left the war. You just dropped your weapon. Every empire was built by men who acted without feeling ready. Every fallen man waited for the perfect moment that never arrived. The lazy man lies to himself daily. "I'll start tomorrow. I just need motivation. I deserve rest first." These are not thoughts. They are excuses rehearsed until belief. Dark psychology is simple here. What you repeat, your brain accepts. What your brain accepts, your body obeys. Comfort rewires you for submission. Routine rewires you for control. You don't need more confidence. You need fewer negotiations with weakness. Power is built in boredom, in repetition, in showing up when nothing feels rewarding. That is why most men never reach it, because power is quiet, and lazy minds crave noise. The disciplined man moves in silence. No announcement, no emotion, no witnesses. He is dangerous because he does not argue with himself. If this is hitting you, good. Comment, "I execute without emotion," if you're still locked in. This section is not motivation. It is a warning. Fix laziness now, or spend your life obeying men who already did. Motivation is a lie told to men who avoid responsibility. It feels powerful. It changes nothing. Weak men wait for desire. Strong men enforce action. Power never asks how you feel. It moves regardless. Machiavelli trusted patterns, not emotions, because emotions decay under pressure. Motivation arrives when life is comfortable. Discipline remains when life turns hostile. The lazy man builds his life on moods. Moods shift. His progress collapses. This is the psychological trap. Your mind seeks pleasure. Your future demands submission. When you wait to feel ready, you stay controllable. Read this slowly. Prepared men are rare. Executing men are dangerous. Dark psychology makes one thing clear. The brain repeats what is tolerated. Delay tolerated becomes delay lived. Every excuse you allow strengthens the cage around you. Discipline breaks that cage through repetition, not intensity, not excitement. Motivation excites the ego. Discipline destroys it. That is why discipline works. Strong men don't ask for confidence. They earn it through forced repetition. They show up when bored. They show up when cold. They show up when nothing feels rewarding. This is where identity is rewritten. You do not rise by thinking differently. You rise by acting the same way long enough to become unrecognizable. Motivation is noise. Silence is where power is built. The man who cannot act without emotion will always be ruled by those who can. If this feels brutal, it should. Reality does not comfort. Choose now, wait forever, or move immediately. Comment, I move without emotion, and stay locked in. Comfort is not peace. It is sedation. It keeps you quiet. It keeps you waiting. It keeps you manageable. Machiavelli warned about enemies you can't see. Comfort is invisible. That is why it wins. Comfort removes urgency. Without urgency, power dies slowly. Lazy men defend comfort fiercely. They call it balance. They call it self-care. They call it being realistic. These are polite names for surrender. Dark psychology is clear here. The brain protects what feels good even when it destroys the future. Comfort numbs hunger. Without hunger, men stop hunting. Every empire fell the moment comfort replaced vigilance. Strong men treat comfort like poison. Small doses only, never routine. Routine comfort makes you predictable. Predictable men are easy to dominate. Comfort trains your nervous system to avoid resistance. Power demands resistance. This is why discipline feels cold. It is designed to oppose comfort. The world does not respect softness, it exploits it quietly. Comfort tells you to wait. Discipline orders you to move. Men who choose comfort trade potential for immediate relief. Men who choose discomfort purchase authority over time. Nothing powerful is built from ease. Nothing lasting is born from pleasure. The man who controls discomfort controls himself, and the man who controls himself cannot be controlled by others. If you are addicted to comfort, you are not free. You are manageable. Let this settle. Comment, I choose discomfort and stay in this mindset. Power is not built in moments. It is built in systems. Laziness survives on chaos. Discipline survives on order. If your life lacks structure, your ambition will bleed out slowly. Machiavelli understood this truth deeply. Men without systems become servants to chance. Men with systems command outcomes. You don't rise by intensity. You rise by enforcement. Wake up at the same time. Train at the same time. Work at the same time. Not because it feels good. Because it removes choice. Choice is where weakness hides. Dark psychology makes this simple. When decision-making is removed, execution becomes automatic. Automatic action is dangerous. Most men negotiate with themselves daily. Should I work or rest? Should I push or stop? Should I start tomorrow? Every negotiation weakens authority. The disciplined man does not ask. He acts on schedule. Structure replaces motivation. Repetition replaces emotion. This is how men become feared quietly. Your environment must obey you. Your routine must command you. If your phone controls you, you are owned. If distraction dictates your energy, your potential is already sold. Strong men design their lives to make laziness expensive. No escape routes, no comfortable exits. They embrace boredom. They repeat the work. They grow while everyone else whines. Power grows during dull days, not exciting ones. The unstoppable man is not intense. He is inevitable. He does not rush. He does not boast. He does not explain himself. He builds quietly, moves coldly, executes daily. This is how you become untouchable, not admired, not praised, untouchable. Pause here, check yourself. Comment, Structure creates power. If you're still aligned with this mindset, this section is not advice. It is instruction. Apply it or stay average forever. At some point, improvement is not enough. You must eliminate. You cannot build power while carrying the habits that weaken you. Machiavelli was clear about this. A ruler who spares a threat eventually bows to it. Your greatest threat is familiar. It lives in your routines. It speaks in your voice. It negotiates when pressure arrives. That version of you must go. Weak habits are not mistakes. They are loyalties. Every time you repeat them, you reaffirm the old identity. Dark psychology reveals this truth. The identity you feed is the identity that dominates. You do not outgrow weakness. You starve it. Comfort must be limited. Distraction must be cut. Excuses must be denied entry. This is not self-improvement. This is self-separation. Strong men know when to be brutal, not with others, with themselves. If something costs discipline, it is too expensive. If someone drains focus, they are a liability. Power requires subtraction before it allows multiplication. Most men add endlessly. More distractions, more opinions, more noise. That is why they remain scattered. The dangerous man simplifies. Few routines, few goals, few words. He eliminates anything that competes with execution. Your environment must be hostile to laziness. Your standards must feel unforgiving. If life feels too comfortable, you have already compromised. This is where men hesitate, because cutting off the weak self feels like loss. It is not loss, it is alignment. The man you want to become cannot coexist with the man you are avoiding changing. One must die off quietly. No announcement, no apology, no relapse. If this section feels heavy, it's because something in you knows it's being challenged. Comment: the weak version is done if you're ready to move forward. What stays soft never becomes powerful. Workers react. Rulers calculate. If you think only about effort, you will stay exhausted and replaceable. Power is not about doing more. It is about thinking further. Machiavelli taught this clearly. The man who controls outcomes rarely looks busy. He looks calm, because he moves with intention. Lazy men focus on tasks. Powerful men focus on leverage. Ask yourself this: does your work multiply, or does it only consume you? Dark psychology exposes a hard truth. Those who stay trapped in effort never threaten those who design systems. Rulers don't chase approval. They position themselves above reaction. Emotion clouds judgment. Detachment sharpens it. To think like a ruler, you must remove urgency from emotion and attach it to strategy. Not everything deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves your effort. Strong men choose battles quietly and win them before others notice they began. If you are always rushing, you are being steered. If you are always reacting, you are already behind. Powerful men schedule thinking as ruthlessly as action. They step back, assess, then strike accurately. This is where laziness ends permanently, because laziness cannot think long-term. The lazy mind wants quick relief. The ruler's mind tolerates delay to secure dominance. You must train your mind to value position over impulse, silence over noise, placement over effort. This is why most men stay workers. They move constantly but go nowhere. The ruler moves less and controls more. If you want success without escape routes, stop thinking like labor. Start thinking like authority. Comment: I think in decades, if this is clicking for you. Power begins the moment you stop reacting and start placing yourself correctly. Most men stop one step before power, not because they can't, because they won't. They reach discomfort and call it enough. That line is invisible, and that's why it traps you. Machiavelli understood this. Power is not blocked by force. It is blocked by endurance. The world is designed to make you quit quietly. No alarms, no warnings, just slow erosion. You train for weeks, results delay. Doubt enters. That's where most men turn back. Dark psychology explains this perfectly. The mind seeks certainty. Power requires tolerance for uncertainty. Most men need reassurance. Rulers operate without it. You want guarantees. Life offers leverage instead. Those who demand proof first stay obedient forever. Every breakthrough happens after boredom, after fatigue, after nobody is watching. This is the crossing point. Lazy ambition dies here. Cold discipline is born here. Strong men do not ask if progress is visible. They assume dominance is compounding silently. Weak men count days. Strong men count reps. Weak men track feelings. Strong men track systems. You don't fail because it's hard. You fail because it's quiet. No applause, no validation, no audience. Just work repeating itself. This is where the mind rebels, because boredom feels like death to the ego, but boredom is where power sharpens. The man who survives monotony owns everyone who needs excitement. Read that again. The man who survives monotony owns everyone who needs excitement. If you quit here, nothing dramatic happens. You just stay average forever. If you stay, your life begins to bend silently. No announcement, no permission. Comment, "I crossed the line," if you understand exactly what this section means, because from here on, only endurance decides who becomes untouchable. There will come a moment when the world feels slower than you, not louder, not dramatic, just smaller. That is when you know the shift has begun. Machiavelli spoke of this indirectly. Power changes perception before it changes position. You stop chasing. You stop explaining. You stop reacting. Things that once distracted you lose their pull. Noise becomes obvious. Weakness becomes visible. This is dangerous territory, because this is where most men sabotage themselves. They get impatient. They get arrogant. They reveal too much. Power is not announced. It is concealed until unavoidable. Dark psychology warns of this phase. When momentum builds silently, the ego tries to claim credit. That is the test. Strong men stay invisible. They let results speak later. If the world starts feeling small, it means your internal authority is expanding. But expansion requires restraint. Never explain your discipline. Never justify your silence. Never reveal your next move. The moment you seek recognition, you give leverage away. Rulers do not need validation. They create gravity. Others adjust around them. At this stage, people will misunderstand you. Let them. Misunderstanding protects position. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be untouchable. This is where detachment becomes essential. Emotion makes you predictable. Predictability makes you controllable. Stay cold. Stay precise. Stay contained. The disciplined man does not rush success. He lets it corner the world naturally. If this section feels isolating, good. Power is not crowded. Comment, "Silence is my advantage," if this stage makes sense to you, because once the world feels small, there is no going back. This is where everything locks in. No hype, no emotion, no retreat. By now, laziness is no longer a struggle. It is beneath you. You have replaced impulse with structure, emotion with command, hope with inevitability. Machiavelli understood the final stage of power. The most dangerous man is the one who needs nothing. You no longer chase success, you create gravity. Opportunities move toward discipline. People adjust around certainty. The untouchable man is not loud. He is consistent. He does not compare. He measures himself against standards. He does not wait for perfect conditions. He executes inside imperfect ones. At this stage, comfort has no voice. Distraction has no leverage. Excuses have no entry. Your habits make decisions for you. That is freedom. You are no longer fighting weakness daily. You eliminated it earlier. Now you move clean, cold, precise. You understand something most never will. Power is not a moment. It is a lifestyle enforced daily. You don't need applause. You don't need proof. You don't need permission. You already know who you are becoming, and that scares people, because silent power always does. From here forward, you build in isolation. You grow in silence. You let results arrive unannounced. This is not motivation. This is alignment. If you reached this point, you are no longer the audience. You are the standard. Comment, "I am untouchable," and let it be final. If this mindset sharpened you, like the video. If you want more cold discipline, Subscribe to Machiavelli's discipline. Turn on notifications. Because power favors those who stay consistent long after motivation disappears. Understand this clearly. Power has a price, and most men walk away when they see it. The cost is not money. It is not effort. It is separation. You will outgrow people. You will lose relatability. You will stand alone more often than together. Machiavelli knew this reality. Those who seek power must accept isolation as routine. Weak men fear being alone. Strong men protect solitude, because solitude sharpens focus, because silence reveals truth. The disciplined path removes noise, and with noise gone, you see people as they are. That realization is uncomfortable. You will notice excuses everywhere. You will hear weakness disguised as wisdom. You will feel the gap widen. Do not close it. Bridging gaps downward is how power leaks. Dark psychology explains this well. Most people unconsciously resent discipline because it exposes what they refuse to become. They won't attack you openly. They will test your patience, mock your consistency, question your intensity. This is the tax of progression. Power demands emotional restraint here. You do not argue, you do not explain, you do not defend your path. Explanation equals permission. The man who explains is still seeking approval. Rulers move without consensus. There will be nights where progress feels invisible, where discipline feels thankless, where isolation feels heavy. Do not mistake this for failure. This is the final filter. Most men quit here not because they can't continue, but because no one is watching anymore. If no one is watching, you are finally free. Free to build without interference. Free to grow without commentary. Free to evolve without compromise. Loneliness is not the enemy. Dependency is. If you can stand alone, you can stand at the top. If this section feels personal, it should. Comment, I accept the cost if you're prepared for what comes with real power. Stay disciplined, stay silent, stay dangerous. This is the last line. After this, there is no confusion. Some will stop here. Some will feel exposed. Some will return to comfort pretending nothing happened. That happens every time. Machiavelli expected it. Power was never meant for the majority. By now, you understand something most never will. Success is not reached. It is enforced, not loudly, not dramatically, daily. The disciplined man does not dream anymore. He executes. He does not wait for conditions. He shapes them. He does not chase recognition. He accepts loneliness as proof of alignment. This is where you separate permanently. No motivation quotes, no second chances, no soft resets. From this point forward, every action either strengthens your position or reveals that you were never serious. There is no middle ground here. Weak men visit discipline. Strong men live in it. They wake up structured, move with intent, sleep knowing tomorrow is already decided. This is not obsession, it is order. This is not sacrifice, it is priority. The world will never see the effort. It will only see the outcome. Let them remain confused. Power works best when misunderstood. If you've made it this far, this channel is no longer content. It is instruction, and instructions demand action. Disappear from noise, disappear from excuses, disappear from the version of yourself that needed permission. Build quietly, move coldly, return undeniable. This is where identity hardens, not temporarily, permanently. There is no going back to ignorance, no returning to soft ambition, no comfort in pretending. Once discipline becomes default, weakness feels foreign. Machiavelli understood this moment. When power stops being a goal and becomes a condition, you no longer ask if you should act. You only decide how precisely. Laziness cannot survive here. It has nowhere to hide. Your mind is no longer chaotic. It is ordered, and order creates authority. This is what separates men forever. Not success, not intelligence, irreversibility. Most men want results without becoming different. That contradiction keeps them trapped. You have crossed beyond that line. You now understand why most fail quietly. Why excuses multiply. Why discipline terrifies. Because discipline removes choice. And choice is where weakness breathes. At this level, you do not rely on motivation. You do not seek approval. You do not explain your direction. You operate. Days pass with structure. Weeks pass with consistency. Years bend under repetition. This is not obsession. It is inevitability. The man who reaches this stage cannot be distracted long-term, cannot be manipulated emotionally, cannot be pulled off course easily, because his identity enforces behavior even when he is tired, even when no one is watching, especially then. This is the final transformation, from someone who wants success to someone who produces it automatically. No emotional spikes, no crashes, just execution. If this sounds cold, it's because it is. Power has always been quiet. From here on, you will notice how few men last, how many retreat, how many make excuses louder. Let them. Their comfort confirms your direction. Comment, no return if you know this mindset is permanent. And remember this, discipline doesn't end here. It deepens. Listen carefully. Power is never permanent by default. It is rented daily. What you build can be lost the moment vigilance weakens. Machiavelli understood this better than most. The fall does not come from enemies. It comes from negligence. The disciplined man never relaxes his standards. He only refines them. Laziness does not die. It waits. It waits for success. It waits for praise. It waits for comfort to feel justified again. This is the final trap. When results arrive, most men loosen structure. They celebrate, they drift, and slowly the edge dulls. Strong men do not confuse reward with retirement. They understand this truth. What got you here must be protected more aggressively than it was built. The higher you stand, the thinner the margin. Dark psychology confirms this. The brain craves relief after pressure. That relief is where decay begins. That is why rulers remain cold even in victory. Success should not change behavior. It should reinforce it. If discipline built your position, discipline must guard it. You do not take days off from identity. You do not negotiate standards after progress. The man who believes he has arrived has already started descending. Maintenance is invisible. No applause, no recognition, just repetition, just enforcement. This is where true power separates itself from temporary success. Anyone can build momentum. Very few can sustain dominance. Sustained power is quiet, almost boring, unimpressive to spectators, but unstoppable. The disciplined man wakes up the same, whether rising or reigning. Same structure, same routine, same refusal of weakness. Because he understands something critical. Comfort after success is more dangerous than struggle before it. If this section feels warning heavy, good. Warnings protect position. Comment, I guard my power if you understand what this level requires. Because power is not proven by how you rise. It is proven by how long you remain untouched. This is the final form. Not dramatic, not loud, unbreakable. You are no longer seeking growth. You have become resistant to collapse. Most men fail because life hits once. You don't. You absorb. Machiavelli understood this endgame. The most powerful position is the one that cannot be destabilized. You stop measuring progress emotionally. You stop reacting to pressure. You stop flinching under weight. Pain becomes data. Stress becomes signal. Opposition becomes confirmation. This is where men separate permanently. Weak men need momentum. You need none. Even on empty days, you function. Even under loss, you execute. Even when isolated, you advance. This is psychological dominance. You no longer ask, how do I feel today? You ask, what must be done? And then you do it. No negotiation, no delay, no internal argument. Routine holds when motivation collapses. The unbreakable man does not hope. He enforces. Systems carry him through chaos. Standards hold him in collapse. The world can apply pressure. It cannot reshape him. That is the difference. Most men adapt to circumstances. You impose structure on them. Failure does not surprise you. You planned for it. Success does not soften you. You trained against it. This is where fear disappears, because fear needs uncertainty, and your life is already decided by discipline. You know what tomorrow requires. You know who you are when tired. You know how you move under stress. There are no loose ends now. This is why unbreakable men are rare. They are boring to watch, but impossible to stop. They do not need intensity. They need continuity. And that is what you have built. If you feel less emotional but more stable, good. That is power settling in. Comment, "I do not break," and let that be final. Like the video if this series reshaped your standards. Subscribe to Machiavelli's Discipline if you are done with temporary motivation and committed to permanent order. Turn on notifications, because once you become unbreakable, the world doesn't need to know. It will feel it.